Wow, it's great to have you back on this channel today for the continuation of the teaching series we have been having for some days back. And we have been considering this very important topic, how to migrate from courtship to marriage, how to move your relationship to the next level. And we have talked about so many important things that must be in place for your relationship to move to the next level. And before I go into the teaching today, I would request of you, if you have not done so, please subscribe to this channel so that in the next episode, in the next series we'll be having, you'll be the first to see it before any other person, and I'll be able to push in so many valuable content to you that is going to help your relationship very, very, very much. So please, before we move into the teaching today, kindly subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. Now let's go into the teaching proper for today. In the other episode, I was explaining to us the importance of agreement in moving our relationship to the next level. Don't forget, our focus is on how to build healthy courtship, because if the courtship is not healthy, the marriage is going to be sick, because your marriage is the prophecy of your courtship. What you are going to experience in your marriage, will begin to see evidences of it right now in your courtship. So before you move into marriage, it is expedient of you to have come to a significant level of agreement. Agreement is so important. But that is not what I'm going to be talking about today. Today I'll be talking about commitment. Before your relationship can move to the next level, there must be a significant level of commitment. You must be committed to the relationship. I have seen some people who assume they're in a relationship, but by the time I check their level of commitment, it is zero. They are not committed at all. So this lack of commitment hinders their relationship from moving to the next level, because commitment is missing. Look, marriage is about commitment. You are going to commit not just your body, you are going to commit your soul. Therefore, you need to start practicing commitment right now, because two will become one. And if two is going to become one and somebody is not going to feel cheated, then both partners must be committed to the relationship. It's not that one person is thinking about how we are going to get married and the other person is not thinking it. It shouldn't work that way. The way it is going to work is for both of you to have significant level of commitment to that relationship. Now, how do I know if you are committed to the relationship you are in right now? The first thing I will ask you is, do you keep to your words? Whatsoever you say, do you keep to it? Do you mean what you say and you say what you mean? If you don't do this, then your level of commitment is low. You must be at the level of commitment wherein your words and your actions are the same. Not just telling someone you love her, not just telling someone you love him. Your love must be practical. Love is not a noun, it is a verb. It's a verb, it's an action. Therefore, if you verbalize your love without putting action to what you are saying, then your love is not complete. Don't forget, in the scripture, the Bible is saying that for God so loved the world that he gave. He so loved that he gave. So if you so love her, what is the corresponding action to prove that you love? What's the corresponding action? There must be a corresponding action to your claim of love. And if your words and your actions doesn't match, then I doubt if you truly love the way you claim to love. The second question I'm going to ask you is, do you keep to time? Are you time conscious? Is time so important to you? Now, how do I mean? You were to go on a date. For one reason or the other, you either got there late or you didn't show up at all. Did you give apology? Did you give notice before the sudden disappointment? Or it was after the disappointment you now realized, or you were forced to realize, that you did something that is wrong, which you ought to apologize for? That is not an attribute of a committed lover. A committed lover will not wait to be told to apologize before he or she apologizes. You must have respect for time, because nobody will want to be in a relationship with someone that lacks respect for time. You will fix a date, you won't show up. You will fix an appointment, you won't show up. You are always full of excuses whenever there is need for you to show up. How many times have you promised to show up in a parent's house which you fail to show up? Is it that each time you have an excuse when a date is fixed? Oh, we are going on Monday, then on Sunday night, you come up with an excuse. Or on Monday morning, you come up with an excuse. No, it shouldn't work like that. The way it ought to work is for you to be committed. Yes, I believe that certain things may come up during the course of the day that might affect your plan. But do you give notice? Do you make excuse for it after the disappointment has been made or before the disappointment? Your words must match. Your commitment to time must be appropriate. Furthermore, how often do you communicate? So many lovers are guilty of this element, the element of communication. If you claim to be committed to a relationship, then you should have sufficient time to communicate, because there's no relationship where you're not relating. You must be relating for a relationship to be healthy, for a relationship to be strong. Therefore, if you are not communicating the way you ought to do, you called on Monday and you believe that calling once on Monday is enough for the rest of the day. I have heard enough of people saying they are busy. No, if your relationship is a treasure to you, you will not be proud to consistently give excuse for not being committed to communication. It shouldn't be. You should be so much in love that every minute you want to hear a voice, you want to hear his voice. Yes, you should have the life of your own. Yes, you should be busy doing one thing or the other. But no matter how busy you are, within 24 hours of 7 days, you definitely created time to eat, you created time to sleep, you created time to use the restroom. Therefore, if this lady is your treasure, the way you created time for these three things, you are also going to create time for her, because she is more important than these other three things. But when she's not important, then you can create time to eat, you can create time to sleep, you can create time to use the restroom, and find a good excuse to not create time to speak with the one you claim to love. It shouldn't be so, and it mustn't be so. Both of you should come to a level of constant communication wherein you talk. Not just chit-chatting, but talking about your future, having concrete plan, discussing about your future, discussing about the day, how the day is going. You must be your gist partner. You must have gist to be giving yourself 24/7. Yes, technology has helped us a lot to bridge the gap. You might not have the time to take up your phone to call, but while you are busy at your place of work and you want to go to use the restroom, take up your phone, send a text message, dear, I've been busy since morning. Can you imagine? It's just 2 o'clock and I'm just going to take my lunch. Oh, it's just 12 o'clock and I've not been able to use the restroom. I'm just going there now. Now, all these small text messages, all these little WhatsApp messages you sent is going to make him realize that, oh, this person is a treasure to me. This person believes in me. That is why he or she is giving me details of how the day is going. You shouldn't claim to love somebody and you are always busy to communicate with such a person. It's wrong. What you are going to practice in your marriage, the evidence is before us today. And the evidences before us today shows that you are not committed to your relationship. You have good reasons why you don't usually call. That reason cannot be good enough. If this relationship is important to you, then you ought to create time for this relationship. Now, the next thing as I begin to round up this episode is, are you committed to each other's need? Are you committed to each other's need? Your needs. Are you committed to it? When she's having a challenge, when she's having a crisis, when she's having an issue, how committed are you? The other day, a lady was trying to tell me that she's intending to call her relationship quit because she called her boyfriend 3 days ago to tell him that she developed wicklow on her thumb and she was not able to sleep throughout the night. She said she took her phone, she sent a text message to tell the guy that, oh, I've not been able to sleep since so time. This thing is so painful. She said, can you imagine, Pastor Gesh? For the last 3 days, he did not reply my text message. He did not even call to ask me, how am I faring? How am I treating the wicklow? He did not call at all. Now, how do you tell such a lady a good excuse to justify the action of this guy who failed to call his lover for 3 days after being informed that she has come down with wicklow? Somebody suggested to me that, oh, maybe the text message did not deliver. Then I asked the person, is it good to stay away from your partner for 3 days without calling? No call at all. Each one of us will come up with excuses to justify the wrong things we are doing. But when someone else does it to us, we don't create excuse for the person. We fire the person almost instantly because we have a perception of what he or she should do or what he or she shouldn't do. So if you're in a relationship, how committed are you to your partner's need? How committed are you to your partner's challenge? How committed are you to care for your partner? How caring are you? When your relationship lacks significant level of care, then I can put it to you that your love is not genuine. My definition: for God so loved that he gave. He gave his only begotten son. He gave his best. So if you are in a relationship and you are not giving, now this doesn't necessarily mean the giving of money. Money is also included and it's very fundamental. But how much do you give other things? Do you give affection? Do you give do you give your concern? Just like the other guy I was talking about, that the girlfriend was having wicklow and for 3 days he did not call, despite the fact that the lady sent him a text message explaining that she couldn't sleep all through the night. Commitment. Your commitment is not just verbalized. Oh, I am committed to this relationship. No, we must see significant proofs that you are committed to this relationship before we can agree that truly you are committed to it. Do you avoid responsibilities? Whenever it is time for you to respond to a need, whenever it is time for you to prove that yes, you are in love, do you always look for an excuse? If all these are missing in your relationship, then it will be very hard for your relationship to move from courtship into marriage, because it's not going to be automatic. There are certain landmarks that must be in place before the guy or the lady can be rest assured that he or she is entering into a relationship she will not regret. So if you don't want the marriage to be a marriage of regret, adjustment is very important. Agreement is very important. Then you must be so committed to your relationship that your level of commitment is not in doubt, cannot be doubted, cannot be ignored. It's so glaring that this guy is committed to this relationship. It's so glaring that this lady is committed to this relationship, not just by saying it, but by showing it through acts of affection, through acts of care, consistent communication, and the act of gift giving. I hope that you have been blessed by this series. I need to stop here for the next session. I don't want to take your time further than this. Please, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, I request of you to please subscribe to this channel. It's going to help us a lot to be able to give you much content later in the day. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please do so right now, and please also give us a thumb up, like this video. It will help us a lot to know that you found value in it. And also please hit the comment section, drop your comment there. We would love to read your questions. We would love to receive feedback from you. God bless you. You are highly favored. My name is Pastor Gesh. See you in the next episode.